finger to create joints. Attach another pipe cleaner and around the finger to create joints. Attach another pipe cleaner and straw to a clothes peg and thread through the thumb. Repeat the process with another glove and staple them together. Make a shell from 2 paper bowls, add some beady eye stalks, and you have the cutest crab in town. We'll have a crab update for you on the hour, but for now, this has been ART News. I'm Darcy Joby, and you're welcome.
Here's a smart, ow, ooh, a smart nip for you, ow. Shannon Mahanty wants to know, how do you draw a rabbit's head? Now, take a look at these shapes I've drawn here. This rabbit is going to be looking straight at us, so everything has to be symmetrical on the face. 2 eyes, nose in there. Let's do it like that. Coming round, up around the ears, back down. Now, some nice whiskers, of course. And a little detail around the ears. Now, if the rabbit was to be looking a bit away from us, you'd only see 1 eye in there, a bit of the nose, coming around like this, and around these ears. And it's so easy just to map out the areas you want to draw in first of all, like that. And a few more whiskers. You should have a real lifelike rabbit.
He's hopping mad. Now, Jay Devlin from Coventry wants to know how to draw a man half in, half out of water. Well, basically, if you draw a little character like I've done here, say 3/4 length, and then just erase up to the point where you want him to be submerged. So, for instance, I want this little chappy here to be submerged up to his chest, like that. And then just draw yourself a little band, which is the water that's sort of hugging his body, and a few ripples coming off that, like so. And very simply, there's your answer.
To the smartphone now, and waiting to talk to us is James Hurst from Cardiff. Hello, James.
Hi.
What's your question?
How do you draw a bird in flight?
Well, James, he's a high flyer. Jay.
Aha. Now here's a dove coming down from above, and I've drawn a couple of shapes, triangles, circles, and rectangles. Now at the ends of the rectangles, I'm going to want to draw these sort of flicks coming off the end there. Now, if I go round this in a nice larger pen, you can see why. We're going to come round, and these are going to be the larger feathers at the ends of the wings, and then they get rather smaller towards the end of the body, like that. Let's do that again here. So here's the larger feathers spread right out as it flies along. Now, at the end, here's the tail. Of course, this bird is swooping right overhead. And this circle here, we're going to turn into our head. Look at that. And there you go. There's your dove coming down from above.
How was that, James?
That's great.
You going to give it a go?
Yeah.
Good man. Thank you for your questions. Bye.
Bye.
Ow! Ow! Oh, how did you get there? Ow! It's me. Ow! Ow! Ow!
Wouldn't the world look different if you could play around with time and speed up even the slowest of things? You could see a flower open or a sunset and make even the most boring classes seem to go really quickly. Take a look at this one, which at a glance goes really fast. Well, with lots of patience and timing, you can have a go too. I've got my snapshot camera, tripod, and, if I'm not mistaken, it's about time for me to speed up lunch. Now, the first thing you need to do is work out where you want to take your photos. So, as lunch is going to happen there, I think I'm going to hide myself in this corner here. The second thing you need to do is set yourself up with a tripod. Now, this is a nice cheap one, so it should be good. And the other thing you need to do is make sure you've got a good-ish camera. Now, the disposable ones don't really work for this, but I've got myself a cheap Instamatic. Now, I believe that lunch takes just over half an hour, so if I take one photo every minute, that means a 36 roll of film should cover me. Attach it to our tripod, and when it's on nice and tight, you can line it all up. Oh, that looks good. And, oh, there goes the dinner bell, so we better hurry up. I'll take one now.
Check it out now, the funk soul brother. Right about now, the funk soul brother. Right about now, about now, about now, about now.
Now, that was the hard bit. The easy bit is getting the film developed. Now, take a look at these. The first thing you want to do is make sure they're all in the right order, and then stack them like this. Get them really, really smooth and flat. And then push it out to one side and fix it together with a bulldog clip. You can do this in the corner or one of the sides. And it's ready to flick. Let's have a look at lunchtime. Now, here's another one that I did earlier, and it has a bit of a message in it. See if you can see what it says. Brilliant, eh? And you can even make time move backwards. Look at this, by flicking it the other way. Brilliant. Now, even modern computer games have little kind of cameras on top, so you can take pictures, and they even do time-lapse as well. And the film that comes out, the printout, even looks like real film. It's amazing. Now, once you've built up your confidence using a stills camera, why not graduate onto film? Well, at least videotape anyway. Now, most modern video cameras have a time-lapse facility, so why don't you experiment with time? And I'm going to be using the aid of the art class to help me. Now, I'm going to be filming my kids, say, once every 30 seconds. So I'm going to let the camera do that bit for me, which means I can take a seat, have a snack, and let that do all the work. All you've got to do is to remember to push record first, of course. Now, which button was that? Oh, yes, red one.
Right about now, the funk soul brother. Check it out now, the funk soul brother. Right about now, the funk soul brother. Check it out now, the funk soul brother.
Oh, oh, look at your messy hands. Isn't that brilliant? Right, OK, better stop this now. Look at that, that's wonderful. Now, who wants to see this, eh? Yay! OK, let's go and watch it. So, what do you think of that then?
Excellent!
And it was really easy and a lot of fun, wasn't it?
Yeah!
Now, with a bit more time on your hands, you might want to try filming something over a couple of hours or even a couple of days. Now, watch this and have some happy filming.
Yes, is your work in the gallery? Well, there's only one way to find out.
Look at Lisa Stokes' jolly cow jumping over a silvery moon. Well done.
Now, Emily Jane Bishop has done a wonderful interpretation of Van Gogh's Sunflowers. Very nice.
Claire Crawford's cutout green cat is a real cutie. Perfect.
Smart sketchbooks are on their way to all our featured artists. Now, ow, ow, ooh, it's time for morph. Quick, you're on.
Now, looking at this picture of this striker, all seems fine on the surface, but look very carefully and you'll see it's flawed with mistakes. For instance, this leg is far too short, this one far too long, and if he was in that position, he'd actually fall flat on his bum. So how do we actually address this problem of proportions? Well, very easily by using one of these, which is called a maquette or a model. Let's put it down there so you can have a look at it. Now, the correct measurement for a maquette is 7 heads tall. Doesn't matter how big the head is, let's just check that. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's the correct proportion. Now, how does it relate to a kit? Well, I'll show you. If I just move this across here, you'll see that I have a kit already made. Now, details of these kits can be found in a smart fact sheet. Now, just using the head again to measure all the parts of the torso, I'll show you again. So the trunk, or the torso of your body, is 1, 2.5 heads high. I've allowed a half for the overlap so we can join all the body parts together. For the lower arm, it's 1, 2. For the upper arm, 1.5. And for the legs, the upper and the lower are both 2 heads tall. So those are the correct measurements for your maquette. Now, when you've drawn them all out, you need to cut them out and hinge them together. So let me just take the upper arm here and get one of these paper fasteners, which isn't very easy when you've been bitten to death by a crab, and hinge them together with these pins. Now, if I just bodge this through, oh, this is painful, and then open them up on the other side, you'll see that you now got a joint. And if you notice the hole isn't very big, that's because I don't want the joints to be all loose and floppy. So when you've done that, all you have to do then is to construct the whole maquette, and you'll be left with your finished result, which will look like him. Now, we've got the guy that's looking face on, but what about if we want to use a profile? Well, very simply, you do a profile maquette, believe it or not, like I've done here. Exactly the same way, using the heads as the measurement, and then we can now work in every single angle that we want. And let me put him into some sort of action pose here, which will be very useful for my striker, my footballer. That looks quite good to me. And let's rearrange this little chappy face on so he looks like he could be saving that vital goal. And now I can go back to my picture, and hopefully I should be able to get everything into proportion. So let's have a look here. What I want to concentrate on first, though, is this line of action. That's the line that starts from the top of the head, works through the torso and finishes at the foot. It's that sort of arc. So if I just translate that to paper, which is something like that, I can now build my sketch around it. So let's start with his head here. It's looking upright. His trunk's body's sort of halfway down there. As to his shoulders, which are slightly twisted. Don't want to put too much detail. Basically, all I'm doing now is just working on a very rough sketch. And his leg is coming up, taking the kick like that. Just get it going first. It's great because you can see the whole sort of action, the dynamism is all beginning sort of to happen. Now, put him on tiptoe as well here. That's better. I think that says it all for the footballer, really. You've got him in the perfect stance. Now, for the goalkeeper, again, the line of action, top of the head and right the way down to his feet. If I just translate that again into the picture, so do that arc, like that. That's better, so you can see it. And again, I've got to reduce him in size because he is in the distance. Look, he's jumping in mid-air. This really does help because you can actually steer, if you like, the picture around this sort of sweep that you've made on the pad so you don't go wrong. His other leg's sort of slightly attached, but never mind. And there you go. And actually, the body positions look fine. In fact, the Holcomb position looks great.
God, what a spectacular smart result that takes Space City.
Garth, you're not in this show.
Right, you are.
Yes, all these prizes look in great shape, and they could be yours if you know the answer to this question. How many heads tall was Mark's maquette? Was it A, 3, B, 7, or C, 12? If you think you know, then phone 0891 33 99 44. But use your head and get permission first.
Well, what do you think?
Nah, you've got it all wrong.
Hey?
Well, we'll have plenty more well-proportioned art for you next time. So if you're glued to art...
Stick with smart.
Bye.
Hang on. What is it? Hey? Next week you'll need card, coloured paper and a tin foil container. And if you have a Smart Tips question or a picture for the gallery, then write to Smart, BBC TV, PO Box 5053, London W12 6AW.
Take a look at this before everybody goes home. How about making one of these, your very own Leo locket? Now, this started life as a simple curtain ring. I placed it over a picture, cut around the picture, and for added support, I add a little bit of backing on the back like so. And here are some other ideas for curtain rings. If you wrap a little bit of leather around one, you end up with this, a very trendy necklace. Or how about this, a glitzy, glamorous mirror? Or perhaps a frame for a photo of a friend. Or even better, a frame for your very own artwork. Go on, give it a go. Ow! Ow!